Hey family, welcome to my channel. My name is Mbali Lamini, but you can call me Mrs. Lamini. In today's video, I am going to be giving you my testimony on how I got the courage to leave my unfulfilling job. If you watched my very first video, you know that I am a stay-at-home mom. And yeah, like I explained there, I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but you can just go ahead and check that out and then come back and watch this video. This video will be long. I think there's just no other way because it's a testimony and I have to tell it how it is. I'll try and make it like, you know, as concise as possible. I'll try and keep it to the point, but yeah, guys, it's a testimony. There's no way for it to be short. So as always, I've got my script here so that I don't ramble.
Sorry guys, so initially I had thought to do a history of my whole career, but it just made this video too long, so I'm just going to fast forward. Unfortunately, if you guys want to know a history, maybe we can do another video for that, but I'm just going to fast forward straight to the job that I just resigned from. Okay,
you know, I will always be grateful for the company that I worked at. I will always be grateful to God for giving me that job. It was a really good paying job and I grew a lot at that place. I learned a lot about life. I learned a lot about so many other things. I learned about financial markets. I mean, where else would I have learned about financial markets? Actually did a course also in like stuff like that. And this place is where I became a mom. It's where I became a mom. It's where I became a wife. It's where I met my husband. So yeah, like I will forever be grateful for that company and for that season in my life. But I just wasn't happy still. I just was not happy. And as the years went by, of course, as much as I love, like I said, I love working with people, but I was demotivated. I felt like I wasn't growing anymore. I just wasn't happy. I wasn't motivated. But aside from that, deep down, there was this feeling that, you know what, this is not what you're supposed to be doing in life. It really isn't. And I remember one day asking myself, if you got a promotion, would that make you happier? And no, like it wouldn't. A promotion would mean more money, and more money is nice, but would you be happy? Like, would you really be happy? Would you truly be happy? And the gag was, no, I wouldn't be happy. Honestly, it has nothing to do with any treatment that I received. I was good. Nothing to do with anything like that at all. It was just me deep down knowing that I'm not happy and knowing that I'm not living my purpose. That's all it was. So fast forward to the beginning of May of this year, 2020. I had actually been at home for quite a while. I was on maternity leave, but I was home for long because my pregnancy did not treat me very well. So I was on bed rest. So I had been at home for 6 months, right? I had been at home for 6 months and the maternity leave was over now and it was time for me to go back to work. And I just was not okay. I was not okay. I just felt myself going into like this deep depression. And I felt like I couldn't do anything about it. It's like, oh, it's life. You have to go back to work, right? This pandemic hit us. And I was at a place of fear. I was really scared, to be honest. I had a small baby and the thought of me having to go back to work, and I work at reception, so I'm going to be there exposed. So I was just not okay. I was not okay. Besides the fact that I've been at home for 6 months, right? How do I go back? How do I go back to a place knowing very well that I am not happy and I'm not supposed to be there? How? Like, I had been so used to being at home that it was bad, guys. Like, it was bad. Like, I just couldn't fathom. Like, I could not imagine myself going back to work, to be honest with you, because I had been home, I had been happy at home, and now I have to go back to work. So, like, quick shift, I just got into a deep depression. I raised my concerns with management with regards to the whole pandemic thing, and I asked, how am I being protected from this? I have a small baby, and I would never be able to forgive myself if I brought this thing back home to her. Both my babies. And first they said that they would provide masks for everyone coming in, right? And I was like, okay, right. But I still wasn't okay, to be honest. And then I inquired about the possibility of putting a glass, right, so that there's like glass between me and the other person. And I think what happened was there was a miscommunication between me and my supervisor. I'll call him my supervisor because, like, the person I report to. There was a miscommunication between me and my supervisor, and I did not get a response for that question, right? And later on, he explained that something happened with his phone and whatnot. But me being the emotional wreck that I was at the time, I just assumed, instead of just maybe going back and like asking, I just assumed that, oh, that this means that it's not a possibility. And I just went, guys, I was acting a fool. I was just spiraling. I was just in this weird place in my head, fighting with myself in my head. I wasn't okay. I was not okay. So I wrote my resignation letter and I handed it in without consulting God, without I just did that. Yeah, I was acting a fool, like, for real, for real. So I did that, and my supervisor came back and he asked me, are you sure about this? And I was like, well, I feel like, I just feel like I feel like I'm not being protected from this thing. I know I sound like a fool, and guys, don't judge me. Like, I was just not okay. I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. I just can't risk my babies. And yeah. So then he explained that they actually were gonna put glass, right? They were gonna put glass at the reception. So then I was like, oh. Then I was like, okay. Then he was like, so if you don't want to resign, write a retraction and say that, you were emotional and, it was impulsive, and, you retracting your resignation. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. But okay, what now? What must happen? I must write a retraction letter. So I spoke to my best friend about it, and she was like, she could tell that I was like out of it, and she was like, okay, listen, you know what, let's just pray and fast about this, okay? Do not send in the retraction letter just yet. Let us fast about it. Mind you, this all this time, like, they are literally waiting for the retraction letter. They're like, listen, bring the retraction letter before this thing goes, before we accept your resignation. But we took the time, we fasted. It was just like a 1-day fast. And actually the night before the fast is the story that I told in my very first video. That's the night before this fast. So then the next day we fast. Obviously I am breastfeeding, so I can't really fast. But my husband and my best friend, they were fasting on my behalf. So the 3 of us were fasting. I tried because I didn't eat up until like 12. Yeah, from morning till 12. So I tried. But yeah, I was fasting social media, right? So we were fasting, we were watching sermons, we were reading the word, and these are the these are my notes basically from the fast. Calm down. Calm down. Stress is from the devil. Fear is the opposite of faith. These are my notes. I am protected from the virus. We are protected from the virus. We are his. We need not worry. We need not fear. And I need to understand just how mighty my God is. And then, okay, there was this other one. I have provided you with all the tools you need to succeed. Just use them. Keep being consistent and have faith in me. I'm like, okay, what's happening? Like, what's going on here? Then we watched the sermon, and what I got from there, it was from Pastor Darius, and the title was Heart Attack. I might just link it down below. And those notes are: manage the middle and you'll have a beautiful ending. Do not lose heart. And I felt like he was talking to me and he was talking about me. I felt like the devil had found a way to enslave me with fear. And if you succumb to the heart attack, you will miss your purpose. You will miss the purpose. And yeah, there's no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. So yeah, I felt better. I was like, okay, God has really been giving me a hiding today by telling me that I should not fear. Why am I fearing? Because I am his, So basically we concluded that, you know what? The truth is, yes, I'm not happy. Yes, I want to resign. But right now is not. My plan was to resign when I am ready. My husband and I had a plan, right, for when I would resign. And right now, the only reason you're resigning is fear, right? Your fear is driving you to resign. So we were like, you know what? Don't resign as yet, right? That's what we've all got from the fast, like literally all of us, the three of us. Don't resign just yet. Just calm down and let God lead. Just trust God. Do not fear, especially don't fear the Rona. Like don't fear this whole pandemic thing. Trust God. He has got you. He's protecting you. So I sent in the retraction letter. I was like, okay, fine. I sent in the retraction letter and I was like, God, I know that you're with me and I trust you 100%. So yeah, I sent in my retraction letter and obviously with a heavy heart, but I sent it in and I was like, you know what, let your will be done, God. And yeah, I sent it in and everything was good. We spoke. They put me on unpaid leave because I still felt like I wasn't really, and I was like, I wanted to stay with my babies. Also, who was going to stay with my babies because my helper couldn't come to work because I was very afraid she's taking public transport. I was just not about to risk that. So I sent in the retraction letter and I'm thinking, okay, this is where the story ends. A day or so later, I get an email and the email says, your retraction letter has been denied. And you're expected to serve your notice and your last day will be on such and such a day. I was like, what is happening? What? Like, when guys, I was just so confused. I was like, okay, what is happening here? And so I speak to my supervisor and he's like, yeah, I can't explain over the phone. Please come and see me tomorrow and we'll talk. And I'm like, okay. I pray. And I'm like, fine, I'll go and see him. And I go and see him and he says, well, basically the MD feels like there is no way you could have just typed a resignation letter and not really feel it deep down that you actually do want to resign. And he says that he has lived at his age, he's wise, and he can sense that you're not happy, and he can sense that your heart is no longer here, and he can sense that, yeah, if you come back, he doesn't really see me being committed, he doesn't see you being committed, and he's worried about that, basically. I was shook. I was like, yes, he's right. Well, I'm not sure about the committed part because I've always been committed to my job. But really, when you are demotivated, chances are you won't do your job as well as you should or could. So I was like, God, is this a coincidence? What is happening here? I mean, what is happening here? They are the ones who said I must write a retraction letter. Now this happens. Why? Why, God? Why? Why is this happening right now? And obviously at that time I couldn't really say anything to my supervisor. I just had to go home and pray again and think about this. And I was like, okay, cool, I hear you. And so he said, so listen, all you have to do is write another letter motivating your retraction and basically just assuring that your commitment is still 100% and that all that was you resigning was just emotions again, and just the whole fear of this whole situation, and that was not your intention, you were being emotional. And I was like, okay, all right. I said to him, okay, fine, I will do that. I went home. And that night, turning point. I don't know. I can't find the words right now. I can't even put into words that night. But I didn't get a wink of sleep that night. And if you know me, you are shook right now because I love my sleep. I love sleep. I have never had problem with insomnia ever. Like, I am a deep sleeper, and when I go to bed, it doesn't take long for me to actually fall asleep. And yeah, I just love my sleep. That night I did not get any sleep at all. It started off, I did pray about it, right? With my husband, we prayed, and then I prayed alone, and then I went to sleep, and I was like, oh God, let your will be done. So since I couldn't sleep, I was like, you know what, I can't sleep for a reason. I prayed. I prayed. I spoke to God. I was like, listen here, I'm sick and tired. Tell me, what am I supposed to do now? Tell me, is this a coincidence? What is happening? God, just put me out of my misery, please. What happened next? It still shocks me that God can speak so quickly. But when it's the right time, I suppose he really does speak quickly. And mind you, before this whole night, my friend actually said to me, if they are denying your retraction, then this is clearly God. Maybe God just wanted you to learn to trust him first before he actually leads you to the next step. Wanted to test you to see if you're able to listen to him and trust him. And even if you're unhappy with whatever decision that he has made, but you're able to trust him and say, you know what, God, let your will be done. Maybe that's what he wanted to do before he actually sets you free and puts you onto your next step, right, of fulfilling your purpose. Yeah. I'm going to show you again the things that I just kept coming across when I couldn't sleep that night. These are just a few of the things, hey? And since I was praying, I don't even know, I was not even supposed to be on Instagram, but I went on Instagram. So these things I got from WhatsApp, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm not sorry for wanting what I deserve, and I'm not afraid. Guys, I did not go looking for these things. These things would literally just like you're scrolling or whatever, like scrolling. I was not looking for anything. I was not searching for anything. These are things that I came across naturally, like as I was scrolling. I'm not sorry for wanting what I deserve, and I'm not afraid to walk away to find it. Anything that costs you your mental health is too expensive. Look elsewhere. He gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might, he increases strength. That's Isaiah 40, verse 29. And that verse kept coming a lot, and that he would give me strength, 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 strength. And I suppose now looking back, it's just the strength to finally let go, the strength to finally be like, look, this is not for me anymore. I am moving on. I'm moving forward now. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Psychology says, always go with the choice that scares you the most, because that's the one that's going to help you grow. It's your road and yours alone. Others may walk it with you, but no one can walk it for you. These are just some of the things. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, no. This is, and then I was listening to New Wine by Hillsong, and some of the lyrics are, in the crushing, in the pressing, you are making new wine. You in the soul, in the soil, I now surrender. You are breaking new ground. And this song is so powerful. So I yield to you and your careful hand. When I trust you, I don't need to understand. Make me your vessel, make me an offering, make me whatever you want me to be. I came here with nothing, but all you have given me. So Jesus, bring new wine out of me. And for me, that was it. That was like, okay, you don't need to say anything more, Lord. I got you. Thank you. It's time. I am free. I am free. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. And yeah, for me, these are just some of the things, guys. For me, I knew that, okay, now is the time. Now is the time. And at 3 a.m., I couldn't wait. I just couldn't. 3 a.m., I sent my supervisor a text, and I said, listen, so the MD was right. The MD was right. I'm not happy. And I think it's time for me to move on. So yeah. And I didn't want it to linger because it's very scary, guys. I completely understand how scary it is leaving a secure and stable income for you to pursue something so scary and something that's not guaranteed. But if God says do it, you need to pray about it. Don't do it blindly. Absolutely don't do it blindly. But when God says yes, then go out there, work hard, and keep having faith in Him. I guarantee you, everything works for good. So I then decided that I wanted to go and see the MD. I actually, my aunt also called me and had said, she feels like I should go and see him. And I had been having that thought that I really do want to see him. So I was like, you know what, Auntie, you're right. I definitely will go and see him. So I went and I saw him. I called him and asked him to see him, and I went to see him. And I was like, you know what, I just came to say thank you for everything that you've done, for the opportunity and for the growth, everything that you've taught me, everything that I've learned while I've been here. And I just want to make sure that there's no, I want to make sure that we're good. And I never wanted to feel like I'm disrespectful. I'm grateful. I'm ungrateful for the opportunities that have been lended to me. I want to make sure that I leave here with, no bridges burnt. So yeah, and the MD was very understanding. He has always been like a father to all of us, because he's of age and he's wise. He's always been like a father. He always calls me my daughter. So so I wasn't surprised that he was that way. But it was very, it was just so nice and calming and just reassuring to know that he took it, he didn't take it to heart. and he was very supportive in my decision, very understanding, and he even said, you know, I will always be family to that company. So that to me, wow, like that to me was everything. It was everything. That's another lesson. Do not burn your bridges. Just because you've reached a point in your life where you know you're not supposed to be there, and maybe you possibly even found something better and things are going well in your life, does not mean that you need to burn bridges, especially in a situation maybe because people are mistreated in their workplaces and they feel like, oh, enough is enough. Still, don't burn your bridges. You never know, you might need them again, and not even just for a job. You just might need them for other things, maybe for whatever you're pursuing, whatever you're leaving to pursue. You might need them for that. So never burn your bridges. Don't do that. Don't do it. So yeah, I just drove home so happy that day. I was just so over the moon. I can't explain to you, honestly, I cannot even explain to you the feeling of, you know, that feeling. I was just so happy. And when I got home, my mom texted me and she said, my daughter, I gave you my blessing and I support you 100%. I'm here for you. And I was so emotional because as much as I wasn't looking for her approval, because I know what was happening and I was good with God, it does mean something to me. And we had actually not been talking because of this whole thing. She wasn't really taking it too well. Her and my aunt, they were not taking it well. And I understand, as a parent, you're like, this child is leaving a good job, you know, to pursue business, and right now is the worst possible time. And I know, yeah, I just, sorry mommy, sorry auntie, I will make you proud, I promise. Yeah, she texted me and she said, I support you, and I just cried. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's just, guys, euphoria, eureka. It's just, I cannot explain this happiness that I was going through. I really, really, really can't explain to you. All I could do was just give praise to God. All I could do was just sing praise. Like, I just, you just, yeah, you had to be there. I can't explain it, but it's just this feeling of euphoria. And to be honest, there was an instant shift. Instant shift. Like, I felt at peace. I felt happier than I had ever been in a while. I'm about to reference Frozen, and don't laugh, but I'm going to reference Frozen 2. Frozen 2. Guys, I'm a mom. I watch Frozen every day. But if you're a mom too, you probably know Frozen, or Frozen is a very popular movie. In Frozen, when Elsa keeps hearing this voice, right? The voice. She's trying to ignore it. The voice is her calling. But she's trying to ignore it because she doesn't want to hurt the people that she loves. But she's so unhappy. She's so miserable. And I think she's also like beating on herself for being miserable when she's with the people that she loves. But at the end of the day, she was not living her purpose and she was not heeding to her calling. And the voice kept calling her and she wanted to ignore it because she was thinking about the people that she loves. But the moment that she actually heeded the call, she was such a happier person and everyone was happy. Everyone was happy. And same goes for us. Like, you know, choosing yourself is choosing the people that you love, because choosing yourself and your happiness, if you're happy, you're a better daughter, you're a better mother, you're a better sister, you're a better everything to the people around you. And so choosing yourself is not selfish, actually. It's selfish, but it's good for everyone, because if you're happy, then everybody else is happy. You're able to be that person that you know that you can be. And this is,
disclaimer, it's about to get really deep.
so I came to a realization that this is so not easy for me to talk about and to open up about, but I'm doing it because there might be somebody out there who feels like they're not being a good mom or a good wife or a good whatever because they're unhappy and because they feel stuck and they're not living their purpose. But I realized that I almost ruined my relationship with my daughter, my 3-year-old. I was so impatient with her. I was just not understanding. She's only 3. She's just a baby. And I don't know what I expected of her, but every little thing that she would do, I would just not be understanding at all. And honestly, yes, I'm a strict parent still, even now, but there's a huge difference. I realize now, huge difference between being like a strict parent and borderline abuse, to be honest with you. I realized that I was abusing her, and I thank God that it's over now, because can you imagine if I'd ruined my relationship with my daughter and all I've ever wanted to be is a mom? I would, years down the line, I would realize that I've seen so many mother and daughter relationships that are like, and now I see maybe some of them, this is where it starts. Yeah. And it's so funny because these children, they know, they see these things. And my daughter, soon after, I remember this one time she came to me because I was just different, and she came to me and you could tell that she wanted to tell me that, Mom, I can tell that you're so much happier now. And she came to me and she put her hand on my cheek. And she smiled. She smiled. Obviously, she couldn't articulate what she wanted to say, but I knew what she was saying. It's as though she was saying, Mommy, I like this new you. Oh God, I'm sorry. Whew, okay. It was as if she was saying, Mommy, I love this new you. I love this new you. This new you is amazing. And I'll never forget that day. To be honest, even now when I'm being too strict on her, I remember that day. Yeah. If your unhappiness is affecting your relationship with your kids or your spouse, do something about it. Absolutely. Everyone is different. Some people can deal with that in a better way, but for me specifically, and this is my testimony, this is my story, and there's no excuse to how I was treating my daughter, but it's just one of those things. I just was in a really dark place. I was in a dark pit, and I almost ruined my relationship with my daughter. So yeah, I'll say it again. Choosing your happiness equals choosing your family's happiness, equals choosing your loved one's happiness. So yeah, I'm sorry that got a little, I knew that when I was talking about this specific part I would get emotional. It is what it is. So yeah, that is my story. That is my testimony on how God gave me the courage to leave my unfulfilling job and to pursue my purpose. I hope this touched someone out there. I just want to say, if you're going through what I went through, just continue praying, fast, seek God, and let God lead you, let God guide you. I promise you, if you're feeling the way that I was feeling, there's a reason for that. You are not feeling that for nothing. Then that means that there's greater things for you ahead. There's greater things for you beyond that. really dark place in your life. You just need to believe in yourself. You need to trust in God and let God lead you, because He's the only one that can truly lead you to your purpose, the purpose that He has for you. So yeah, I hope this touched someone. I hope this helps someone out there. That's all I can hope for. I know this was long, but I knew that it was gonna be long. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and that you can go out there and start really asking yourself the necessary questions and seeking God to help for him to help you find your purpose. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next one.